Now, another thing to think about when you're scanning is, what resolution do you want to use to scan your images? Like how many pixels do you need in your image in order to do what you want to do? For my part, I only want to scan these things one time. I don't want to have to go back and scan them again in case I find that, oh, I want to print an 8 by 10 of this, but I only scanned it as a high enough resolution where I could get a 4 by 6 or something like that. So think about, what is the largest file that I'll need to do like the maximum amount that I want to do. For my project, I'm thinking that nobody is probably going to want to print anything larger than maybe a 16 by 24 or a 16 by 20 or something along those size. I'm probably not going to be printing any 20 by 30s or any 30 by 40s or some crazy poster size prints like that. And if I do, if the print is that good, then okay, I'll bite the bullet and I'll scan the print again and I'll get myself a real good high resolution scan. But as a baseline, I think having enough pixels to make a 16 by 20 or 16 by 24 will be more than enough for archive purposes. So in order to do that, in order to know that I have enough pixels to print a 16 by 20 or a 16 by 24 inch print, all I have to do is a little bit of math. And having a little bit of knowledge about what printer you're going to be using or what photo lab is going to be doing the printing for you is definitely helpful. I know that pretty much any printer that I would ever use requires a minimum of 240 pixels per inch along each dimension that I'm printing. So just using an 8 by 10 as an example, there are two dimensions that I'm concerned about there, the 8-inch dimension and the 10-inch dimension. I need 240 pixels per inch along each of those sides. So with some simple multiplication, I'll have a real good idea of how many pixels I need to have in the image in order to get a good print at that size. So you multiply 240 times 8, which comes out to, let me open my calculator real quick, 240 times 8 is 1920, and then 240 times 10, of course, is going to be 2,400. So I need to scan to make sure that my image is 1920 pixels by 2,400 pixels, at least. And in terms of megapixels, just for fun, if you do 1920 times 2,400, you end up with 4,608,000. In other words, 4.6 megapixels. That's how many megapixels the image has to be in order to get a nice, solid, clean, crisp 8 by 10 print. So now if I want to do this for my baseline being 16 by 20 or 16 by 24, I just have to go and do that math again and make sure that after I've scanned my image, I have enough pixels in the image to make that print. So it's just a little bit to consider about what resolution you want to scan your prints at.